Good morning and welcome back to me going over my Aegis VODs. We've now finished the group stages, so we're now onto the playoffs. The playoffs work in a very different format to the group stages, and I'm going to go through how the format works, what our lineup was, what we were expecting, and a few other things like that before we get into the games itself. If we go to the lineups, which is here, you've got our team, which has Spidz, FakeHero, and lmoa versus Innata, Blue God, and Branch of Turtwigs. If you're not familiar with how this format works, I'm going to assume you know how a regular best of 3 works in Legends of Runeterra. The first player fights the first player. Whoever wins stays on. Whoever loses, that team picks a new player to go in. So let's say Fake wins and Turtwigs loses, they might put in, say, Innata, and then let's say Innata wins, we might put in, say, lmoa might win, we put Blue God wins, they put in Spidz, and now we've won, because all of their players got eliminated, right? In that sense, it's sort of like a best of 5 in the same format as a best of 3, where as long as you eliminate the other 2 decks, or as long as you eliminate everyone's decks, you sort of win. Yeah. If we look at our lineup specifically, I can talk a bit about like our strategy going into this and what we were expecting. So my lineup is like 2 Demacia decks and any Gwen Katarina, just regular Gwen Katarina. This does pretty good into Blue God's lineup, because Blue God, I banned this out, the Annie Katarina Twisted Fate, and I've got 2 Bard decks. These decks are really, really slow and can struggle against like speedy Demacia stuff. Ezreal Seraphine is Vandal City, not Noxus, and so there's no like flock or anything I'm worrying about. Vandal City, Ezreal Seraphine is really, really slow and doesn't have a win condition outside of Ezreal. And they don't have as many value cards as you would expect. They've got the triple bar, but they've only got 1 Song Spinner and only 1 Drum Solo. Aphelios by Zoe is similar in that their only win condition is Pursuit of Perfection. And while they can have value for a little bit, they don't really have that as much value as you think they would have, and their interaction is a much less. Vandal City gets to run Wallop and Stress Defense and Pokey Sticks and Group Shot, while the Targon version has to run things like Pale Cascade and Guiding Touch and things that don't actually interact with the board very much. And so both of these decks struggle against the Demacia decks. So the thinking was that when they put Blue God in, we'll put Spidz in, right? In addition, in our prep, we thought that Seabass was going to be playing, and my lineups in general are good into Seabass's lineups. So the thinking was that I can deal with these guys, and these guys just need to deal with Innata, basically. It was something like that. I need to deal with Blue God, and these guys just need to deal with Innata and Seabass. Was generally the line that we were going with. My lineup into Turtwigs is doable but difficult. I have to ban out Teemo Zoe because Surge beats up these decks really, really strongly, like the Sudden Surge card itself. Jinx Lulu I can beat with a Vayne Cane, provided that I get my Rast out against Jinx Lulu. Jinx Lulu is like very aggressive, but they struggle to deal with like big HP units. And if I have a couple of early cards to block down and then play Rast, typically I'm able to beat Jinx Lulu, although it can be close. Silver Archon, however, is like completely dead in the water against Jinx Lulu. The fact that a lot of your power comes from like a 5/3 just gets like Lulu chompers to death, and you don't have enough cheap units consistently enough to block down. Like you might go a 1/2/3, but Jinx Lulu is going like a 2 mana card, they get Lulu into a discard, and then the next turn they play like 3 cards in 1 turn. They just go wide, they play the big dust, you just get overwhelmed. So this matchup's like really difficult. Maybe if I had more Laurent Protege, it might be more doable. But anyway, and then this is, I think, slightly favored for me into Annie Katarina Twisted Fate, but it's pretty close, and it comes a lot down to draw and interaction. But the point is that I can do really well into Blue God, and I've got a chance into Turtwigs. What's important though is that when we look at what Turtwigs can do, Turtwigs mostly beats lmoa. lmoa has a chance to try and 2-0 Teemo Zoe, but Turtwigs pretty much beats lmoa and should beat FakeHero. And so when we're thinking about, all right, how are we going to make sure Turtwigs dies? you need to use Spidz. You can't not get around using Spidz. So if I'm locked into being the Turtwigs beater, that means we have to figure out what other matchups we can try and win so that we're not forcing to put myself in at some other point, right? So the thinking then became, I think we wanted lmoa to beat Inada, or lmoa to beat Blue God, and Fake to beat Inada. Something like that. But it was going to be close. I mean, we've got a lot of like Demacia stuff, and this is like an anti-Demacia lineup, right? Like they've got Leona, which is very good against Demacia. They've got Unforgiving Cold, Dot Deck, and they've got like large Demacia, right? So this should be beating Demacia. So I think we need anywhere into this, and then maybe Fake into this. That would probably work out. But that was sort of some of the things we were thinking about going into this. I'm not going to go over the deck lists too specifically. I think if they're relevant, I'll bring it up within the games. Maybe I'll cut this section out, because it didn't seem to be particularly as insightful as I would have hoped. But I hope that gives like a general impression of what the vibes were like going into this. That I was... Before the decks were revealed, we thought Blue God might be on a lineup like this, so we thought, okay, I'm probably going to be trying to beat Blue God. Turns out that they brought Turtwigs instead of Seabass, and so now I had to pivot into trying to be the way of beating Turtwigs instead of Blue God. lmoa and FakeHero obviously had their own things that they were focusing on a lot. We ended up not scrimming as much together as we did with other people, so I ended up scrimming a lot with the Jansports, while lmoa scrimmed a lot with like Cephalopod and Milk, I think. And I think Fake just played ladder. And so I think I was a bit more focused on myself than I was with my teammates, which was different this week. And typically we just scrim with amongst ourselves, and even if that means we're not playing our own decks, we're still just like scrimming amongst ourselves. It's very different this week, but I found it very helpful to be like it felt like we were like min-maxing our time. So it felt pretty useful nonetheless. I'm going to go over the games now. You're going to hear both lmoa speak as well as Spidz speak. I hope you're okay with that. But our first matchup, because we picked Fake first and they picked Branch of Turtwigs first, is going to be FakeHero versus Branch of Turtwigs. So let's just go. At the start of this, I tell lmoa that I got to go to the loo, because I have to go to the loo, so just be wary.
No worries.
But I'll be back soon. Yeah, that's me going to the loo.
Does that mean I'm on Streamlabs right now? Oh, look at me! This is for future Spidz and whoever's watching. Whoa! Here I am, your host in lmoa, and I'm stuck in Spidz computer. Someone let me out! I'm stuck. Ah!
Okay, I just wanted to make sure any got like, that's not the entire joke, but that's part of it. I wanted to talk about this mulligan for a second. So I know how this game turns out, but I missed the mulligan. I think it makes sense to have gotten rid of Combat Cook, and did he keep Harpy? No, he threw away Harpy, good. I knew he ends up with Harpy anyway. I would full mulligan this hand, and because you're fighting Surge Elusives, what you're really looking for is a sharp sight to combo with cheap units. You want to be applying like physical pressure and making them forced to block you, while also having interaction pieces for like the important pieces of like elusives and like things you can get away with, like a single or a concerted at certain positions, right? This shouldn't be a fantastic matchup. It should be all right if you can sort of hit the middle ground between applying pressure and making sure you're not dying too quickly, using things like well-setted mid-range units, so it's like Dark and Half to try and like put damage on, and making sure you've got like just enough sharp sights and singles, not to be like overly defensive because you will just die eventually, but to be able to hit their like power point. I do agree with mulliganing all of this
future Spidz and whoever's watching. Whoa! Here I am, your host in lmoa, and I'm stuck in Spidz computer. Someone let me out! I'm stuck. Ah!
These allegations are false.
I'm trapped. I'm in the Matrix. I'm Morpheus, and I've been there for 27 days and I haven't eaten. Please, someone just help. I'm blinking twice, saying that I need help. SOS, please.
lmoa gets let out maybe once every 2 days. Anyway, so this is our new hand, and our new hand is pretty bad. And this may be the least interesting game you can watch. It just sucks that it's first. For you'll notice our next few draws also happen to not include units. And you can actually see in hand the cheapest unit that we can play.
Hey, returned. Hey, there. This is a hand.
Yeah, this doesn't look great for us, but this is like, we're not targeting this, right? We're targeting the other thing. Yeah, so to talk about like what this actual best of 3 is looking like. Fake can beat Branch of Turtwigs. It's not easy, but Fake's best line is actually to go for a 2-0 against Annie, Katarina, Twisted Fate. It can be difficult for Demacia decks to beat Annie, Katarina, Twisted Fate, except for like the larger you get, the more susceptible you are to like Disintegrate and Flux. But it's doable, right? If you apply enough pressure, Flock decks typically run out of value after a certain amount of time. If they don't get enough tie box, or they're not able to get their Rex off, or if they don't get like tippers or something. If they just draw the wrong half of the deck at the wrong half of the time, Demacia decks can be Noxus decks that run like this Raven Plume package. But that's like what Fake's trying to go for in this matchup to give himself the best chance of winning. So, in my mind, this isn't as important to win. It's great to win it, obviously, and it's not impossible to win. This can actually go pretty favorably. But... And like we do have double sharp sight, so like, you know,
getting Clinfewer out of the way. Oh my goodness.
So what, we can do the epic Dural on the defensive turn into Harpy. You know what? It's probably Dural. It's probably double Dural, and then Rally. So I'm a bit sad because I wanted to do like in-depth analysis, and really there's not much to say here. We've got 2 lines over the next 2 turns, which is Dural and then Harpy to push like damage in, right? Because this can do like 16 damage in 2 turns time. Or we can do Dural, Rally to clear 4 units. Both of these are justifiable.
It's okay. Maybe Turtwigs doesn't pop up here because
Dural loses more to sudden set.
He's just scared.
If they don't have like +2/+2. What's it called? The newly buffed card.
Bonds.
Bonds. Yeah.
Wow. This is a hand.
This is a hand. I know Jansports is a big fan of having lots of spells, so I think this is what Jansports means. I think this is what Jansports wants to see when he plays Demacia. He just wants to see spells. Yeah. So what? I think our win condition has to be... Fuck me. Our win condition has to be Dural, Rally. Right?
It might be, yeah. That's our best line.
Alternatively, we can do Dural, Harpy, and then like Fish Fight. No, because they're not going to be scared of Harpy. They'll just block every time. So Fiora changes everything. And by everything, I mean we're still losing. But Fiora is able to win us the game if we're lucky. We've currently got an attack token. We've got a quick attack weapon. We've got a Fish Fight. That's 2. We've got a sharp sight for our next block. That's 3. Provided we top deck a single or a concerted, we actually have a chance of winning. So the entire game now has pivoted towards getting Fiora to happen. And you're going to see us discuss how Fiora can win. Fiora, if we top deck a concerted, don't we win?
No, we don't.
No, because we can't equip something and rally. But we can fish fight. No, so we do this. We play farm.
No, we can. Yeah.
Then we fish fight. Then we sharp sight. Then we need single.
Yeah, no, there is a way.
Yeah. And I think you're seeing it. What in their deck deals with this? Oh, let me get the deck list open. I go to this page.
No, I don't think they're running Shield Ball.
Yeah, they're not running Shield Ball. It's stuff like pokey. Like after we fish fight, it's like pokey stuff. If we don't top deck like if we top deck a single and then they like pokey us out. And it can't be concerted, right?
It's also just Surge to kill the Fiora.
Okay, fair call. But this is
wait,
our
no,
win
you're
condition.
okay. No, Surge is fine. You need Surge and something else, but yeah. We need we literally need Concerted then.
Well, we can't afford Concerted and Fish Fight and Sharp Sight. So I guess we're deciding if we want to allow ourselves to get top deck Concerteds on it.
No, we can.
Yeah. We can afford everything. Wait, okay, sure. I can count math. I've graduated from math college.
Maths college is scary. Sorry.
Ooh. Okay, does this play around double pale?
Yes. But
It's really
I think
all in.
yeah, I think we're dying no matter what. So this is correct line.
This is also correct because they can just re-equip the weapon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, fake Caesar.
Yeah. Okay. We're pulling this for two reasons. One, double pale will kill Fiora, and win condition is Fiora. The other reason is that they can re-equip the weapon. Now, there is a line where we somehow don't win with Fiora, but we do block down like a little, right? Because if we're playing fish fight, let's say we fish fight the 2-3 elusive, we block Zoe and we block something else, we only go down to like 3 HP. Because remember, they've got a 2-1 in hand. We go down to 1 HP and then we're like thinking about pokey stick outs. And because of that, there's reasons not to let them get the weapon again, to put on something else to be threatening more damage, or to be like killing a unit that we don't want unit to die. And since we're not thinking about like we're trying to mostly go for a Fiora based win, we just really need to be protective of Fiora, and that's why we Fake is such a smart player. I think in this position I would not have seen the win condition. Like if I was in the video game.
Yeah. Yeah, Fake knows. We just have to do it on the 2-2.
So this is the second half of Fiora. Is it the 2-2?
You can't do it on the Timo because you lose the pokey.
Is it the Zoe? If they re-equip the weapon, we might just allow ourselves. Oh no, but then they got pokey outs.
Right, I guess we do it on the Timo, yeah. On the Zoe.
Well, if we do it on the Zoe, we can let Timo hit our Nexus. Or they equip the weapon and then we've got.
Yeah, no, this is correct.
This is close. I don't blame Fake for taking a long time to decide. Okay, let's talk about this decision. So, what we're looking for is 3 more Fiora kills. We've got 1 with Fish Fight. We've got 1 with Sharp Sight. When they attack, we can block. Where does our 4th one come from? We've got 2 options. We can top deck a single or a concerted, or we can try and delay the game until next turn and then try and get it on the open attack strike. Doing this means that if they play the weapon, we can just block down. We can put the Sharp Sight on the Dural and like block a physical unit with Fiora, or they don't attack with physical units and then we just block with Fiora, right? Because they equip the weapon onto something, right? They equip the weapon onto whatever. Alternatively, so that's what. Sorry, let me get my sentence back on track. That's why we're trying to kill Zoe right now. In addition, what Annie and I aren't realizing is that Zoe actually can flip pretty soon. And we're sort of scared of Zoe flipping.
Come on, we
had a vigor. They're on 1 vigor.
Yeah.
They're on 1 vigor. They're on right. I did forget to mention they're on 1 Sunblessed vigor. So a reason why this might not be correct is if you want to play around Sunblessed vigor. Because of that, there's a pretty decent argument to say, okay, let's kill the 2-3. The only issue with killing the 2-3 is that if they only attack with elusives, we have to do Sharp Sight on Dural, and that gives them a lot of turns to try and find a way to annoy us. They're not on Shield Vault, which is important to know. And I think if we did kill the 2-3, there's a decent chance that we can do the Dural thing. The only issue is that team is Zoe's flipping. So I think if you combine the Zoe flipping awkwardness with the Sunblessed Vigor awkwardness, I think you do have to decide to kill Zoe and say if they've got Sunblessed Vigor, we're not winning the game anyway. If they flip their Zoe, they play an elusive, they play a spell shield unit. We're Dunzo Washington. This is the correct play, but I did want to just bring up the Sunblessed Vigor as well as the Zoe flips. I think those are important things to be thinking about in terms of this play as well.
Okay.
Remember, Zoe is 1 away from flipping.
Come on.
Right now.
No.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Purple berry to flip.
Oh.
Oh, but then they got pale.
Fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no more outs anymore. Oh.
Oh.
Okay. No, we're fine. Okay, okay.
But they develop a spell shield unit and we can't do.
They could have also just done
top
purple.
deck.
Oh, right.
Singles. But if no, there's nothing that saves us from that.
Okay, maybe they just attack. They don't spell shit, and we just top deck. There's a chance if we top deck.
No top deck.
Okay.
Well, we played for the out.
Yeah. Really good considering that hand.
Yeah. Fake played this probably the best that he could. But maybe the kill on the Zoe was wrong. But basically the best you can. With the one harpy, no nothing.
This is technically correct though, because the pokey, like they can still win here because of the, like if they have pokey on their teamo.
Okay, fair call. Yeah. Alright. No, that's correct then. Alright. The only alternative is to do it on the 2-2.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's not really much we could do there. I don't. I don't know what else to say. It's just unfortunate that that's sort of how the first game went. And I think Fake played perfectly, and maybe he should have kept the 2-mana card. Genuinely, if we had that 2-mana, like 3-mana Castaway there, I don't think that would have changed anything.
Okay, so now it's TF Swain? Not TF Swain, TF Annie Cutter.
Like if that was our only unit, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So now we've got FakeHero into Branch of
Turtwig
Turtwig.
instead. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Saga Seeker probably hits this matchup hard.
So we've got the Expanse's protection.
Yeah.
It's ideally just finding probably multiple pantheons.
Mm-hmm. I presume we pass on one, then do Saga Pale.
Yeah.
Actually, do they run Blaze Edge, so we have to. Okay. And plus, like, draw his pocket.
Let's talk about this play. With Saga Seeker, you've got a lot of lines that are available to you in terms of what sort of plays you want to go for. If you've got Saga Seeker on attack token 1 and they've tapped onto Blade's Edge, you can push in a single Nexus damage, and it seems tempting. But I think it's really important to get your procs on ASAP, especially against a deck like Raven Blue, where your win condition is really trying to be these sorts of Pantheon. You have to commit 4-5. You have to commit like 3 to 4 spells just to kill Pantheon alone, and then you set the second Pantheon, and then they lose the video game. That's typically how you want to be beating these sorts of Flock, Disintegrate decks as a Pantheon deck. And so the most important thing to be thinking about is making sure that you're getting your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 procs for your Pantheon. Now you can proc Saga Seeker next turn, but it means you're not procking the draw from Pale Cascade. And so most players in a position like this would argue that you should play Saga Seeker on 2 so that you can do the Pale Cascade on the Saga Seeker. Does this lose to a few things? Like, I guess it loses to, like, Heavy Metal Blade's Edge, but you're always losing to Heavy Metal Blade's Edge. It loses to, like, Disintegrate Blade's Edge, but you're always losing to Disintegrate Blade's Edge. It's always just worth it. Because even if you're getting 2 cards out, you've actually only spent 1 card here. And there's no other proactive 2-mana cards in your deck except for Lodestone. Lodestone is the only other proactive 2-mana card that you want to be playing. Because Goat doesn't give you anything, Cultist doesn't give you anything, like Lunar Cultist, that you can do on turn 2. So this play is really important to be thinking about, and it's a really obvious thing to like subscribe yourself into. Like, oh, they tapped under, we can hit them with the 1/1. But I do think you should have saved the 1/1 here to do the power cascade. I think this is like a fairly obvious thing for most
Sure. I mean,
situations, but
maybe we're just hoping for a weapon.
I want to play a little minigame with you guys. I want you to look at this pale cascade and look at it throughout the entire game. Just pay attention to how different the game would have been had we played pale on turn 2. Or thing,
Can you run Jiro on this?
I don't know. I've not played Barris Pantheon. I don't know. I'll open up Aegis. I suggest maybe you can play Jiro, but look at the region icons. He is not running Jiro. It's just late stage.
We could Momentous then, but I guess. Yeah, you can't run Jiro because it's Demacia.
Oh! My bad. We could run Draconic Bonds.
Oh, true. And then make our Saga Seeker a dragon.
Yeah.
That would be funny. Because I think like Saga Seeker probably like kills dragons.
Again, we didn't play Pale on 2. Now we have to do this to make Saga Seeker larger. We could have also played the Mentis on last turn, but we were looking for like a 3-mana card to like put on the Saga Seeker, whether it's Eula or Wandering Shepherd.
It's made. Not playing the Saga on 2 has made everything very awkward.
Yeah.
Like insanely awkward.
Now, if you're thinking about it overly specifically, you might argue, okay, Spidz, but if FakeHero played Pale on 2, look what he would have run into. None of this stuff actually procs Saga Seeker that favourably. But it's less about the fact that in this position, his next 2 draws didn't fade it favourably, and more that in a situation like this, you would have rather given yourself at least one more opportunity to draw Wandering Shepherd or one more opportunity to draw Eula. While also spinning your deck, seeing more cards, having more value, etc.
The procs that matters, yeah.
As well as, you know, the proc on the Pantheon. Right, like it only loses the Blades Edge.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. Just pumping. Pump and get rid of the unit.
Are we developing Barris yet? Just to get like the draw.
I think Fake is going to be unforgiving here. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. So we do draw another Pale Cascade, if only we do that one turn earlier. We do Unforgiving Cold here. Unforgiving Cold doesn't hit very much in this matchup. It only hits Tibbers and Tybalt. And technically it hits, like obviously you're seeing it hit Katarina, because that's Katarina, it only hits Tibbers and like Riptide Rex if you really are.
Makes sense. Death's Hand, we're fine unless Disintegrate. This loses literally the Disintegrate Death's Hand, but I still think it's correct because we need this rock here. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
They might have flock, but we're still killing the one of Katarina. Killing the one of Katarina is pretty good. It means they don't have any more left. This, I don't know about you, but this board makes me really tense. Like, it's so serene and calming that it's, like, unnerving. You've got the game sound muted, you've got no clue, right?
No, but I understand the vibe, though.
Yeah.
I'm a man of vibes.
The Pantheon's at 2? Oh, I can hover, of course. Pantheon's at 2.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I really don't like just playing the Pantheon here.
I'm going to explain Eniomore's comment. So Eniomore has had a lot of experience with the methods in which you play Pantheon against certain matchups. And in his mind, the best thing you can do with Pantheon is wait for him to be flipped and try and make it so that that form of Pantheon, flipped Pantheon that has more likely to get Spell Shield, more likely to have higher stats, more threat dense, demands more answers onto the Pantheon. In a way that this Pantheon doesn't, because it's just a 4-3, right? Like, we proc it for 8 at once, it dies to like Blade's Edge, Disintegrate. If it has Spell Shield, because it's flipped, it's going to die to a lot less. Now, it can like push damage, but we're losing barrier, which is one of the ways we're protecting Pantheon, and he's like the most important card in the deck right now because he's the most powerful, right? Like he has the most he's just the most threat dense. Like genuinely, when I'm saying threat dense, what I mean is like demanding of removal. And the way these Noxus decks typically lose is because they ran out of removal and you just kept being like too large for them to deal with. So in Eniemor's mind, playing Pantheon here is wrong. I think I agree with Eniemor. I think you could have played Varus, you could have just played the Lodestone on the Saga Seeker, let it die. At least got your Pantheon Trigger and left it at that. Instead, he plays the Pantheon, and it's small, and it doesn't have the keywords, and it's not.
You can sell WinCon. I know we have double, but like when you have double Pantheons, you just want to make them kill it up when it's leveled. This also loses to Flock. I don't know.
So the other thing is that Fake should have probably played Lodestone on Pantheon. Because it doesn't lose the Flocker's art, and if he wanted to attack, at least he could put damage on, he can proc fade it so that it's a bigger blocker, so that it only starts dying to disintegrate and starts being too big for Flock, that sort of thing. I think it's also just more valuable to have played Lodestone, trigger faded, and then if they Flock, we have enough mana for Varus, or something like that, as like a different type of blocker. I would have liked to put the weapon on the Pantheon if we're going to do it this way.
Yeah.
And we can't attack him if they've got Blade's Edge, which is kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I'd you prefer developing the Varus here? Like, he has quick attack naturally, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, also, you literally just don't want your Pantheon out.
Yeah. Is this my joke? Do I say my joke right about it?
Ooh, pretty winnable though.
A Pantheon in the hand is worth 2 on the field. Sorry, a Pantheon in the hand is worth 2 in the field. I think it's hilarious.
Maybe this is why Fake likes Heedless Resurrection, because he just jams his Pantheon early.
Is he on Heedless?
He's on 2.
I hope you can hear Eniemor and I loud enough. Sometimes, like, recording this is sometimes a bit awkward. I mean, it's a different style of trying to win, right? It's like, I'm gonna force you to do all your removal, as opposed to I'm gonna wait till the late game and make my units powerful. It's a different form of attempting to.
Yeah.
It's just that I think waiting for Pantheon's probably more percentage based. Like, are we forced to do expenses here?
Like we're going for.
Pantheon's 2 away or 1 away?
1
away. Okay, so Pantheon, it's tough for Pantheon not to be flipping.
This power is stick to no hand the whole game.
Yeah. Yep, look at the pale again.
I think you just play
5 turns
Varus
later.
here, right? Play Varus, force a trade.
Yeah,
like,
you play Varus, then you open Lodestone.
Yeah.
They're gonna get Tibbers. And so, like, developing the Lodestone isn't great.
No.
So, why is Fake doing this, and why is Eniemor scurrying himself into a little hole? Fake is doing this because Annie is 1 away from flipping, and Fake wants to develop the Lodestone in order to flip Pantheon, but doesn't want to be Tibbers. Basically. Eniemor is very, very mad because Eniemor believes that you want double Pantheon. To be clear, I think I agree with Eniemor that I think percentage-wise, your main win condition is double Pantheon. I can see the logic for this. It's sort of a tempo-y mindset. But I think Eniemor is right in this instance that I think you're better off making a big Pantheon, making them spend, say, like 2 of their cards, you play second Pantheon, they play 2 more of their cards, and then you sort of get Varus, and then they don't have any cards anymore because they played all their cards. But yeah. You're super scared of Tibbers, but we definitely need Shittleball. In addition, if they have any spell here, they get Tibbers. So using this to avoid Tibbers isn't particularly prominent or strong as a plan.
No, we just need Pantheon. Like, I don't know how we're winning without Pantheon here. This Pantheon's gonna probably die. Like, there's a good chance that it dies and you need another one. I don't know.
If it's any consolation, you can probably see Varus as a spell shieldless Pantheon. If that's any consolation. And if you view it that way, we've still got 2 more Pantheons in here.
It's not game winning. Like, Varus isn't game winning.
Pantheon can't get scared anymore. I'm trying to justify Fake's play.
Yeah, no.
And, like, Varus can get, like, 10 quick attack overwhelm and be forced to be interacted with. He's at 5 and 7.
It's just gonna get really close with time, right? And your biggest power play is Pantheon. If you lose Pantheon, you don't have a good power play anymore because the Varus can't win you a turn. The game on the turn. Game on the turn?
Do they have it? I do my very ugly laugh. And that's game, right? If that's game, that means I'm playing like right now, isn't it?
No, there's a chance.
So it is game. Spidz.
Yeah. You need a top deck heedless.
So if we just top deck heedless, there's still a chance. But we're never top decking heedless, so it's fine. Oh my god. My lord. Okay. Is that heedless resurrection? Okay. Do we develop lodestone and then
we have to? Yeah, we have to. We don't have mana otherwise.
Yeah.
Come on. Surely they just play something here.
Play the tippers. Yeah. Play the tie bulk. Yeah.
Play some Boogaloo, please. Okay, thank you. Okay. There's a chance.
So we want, like, quick attack challenger? No, because
we want everything. We want everything, Spidz. That's what we want.
So we want. No, but let's think about this.
Lifesteal,
quick attack challenger is probably our best combo.
Spell shield. Please, come on. Yeah.
Stuff and spell shield is interesting. No lifesteal is a bit suspicious.
Sussy? Okay, Furious Wheel is good.
Any more say sussy is funny. We do have Chain of Corruption in hand. I hope that our conversation is good enough as explanation. I sometimes struggle when there's like other people talking and I'm doing these reviews. I don't know what exactly to say. But I hope this is fine. And so there are lethals in the world. And how many like disintegrates and stuff? They've played 1 disintegrate, 1 flop. My thinking is like we're doing Varus into Chain of Corruption and we might be able to go for a lethal at open speed.
I think so. Would be the best play.
But we're going down to 6 and that requires us blocking the anyway. We're taking damage.
We block. Have to block that one. We're taking 6, 9, 11 plus. We need a 3 unit, otherwise we use Varus and then. I guess we can Varus and then.
We have to play Varus and block. Okay. 5, 8, 11, 17, 24. Pantheon can block like one of these guys, or it can block this. And we can play Varus and block other things, maybe this. And we can do Furious Wielder to kill this. So let's say we use Furious Wielder to kill Tybolk, because we've got Faded. Furious Wielder to kill Tybolk, we played this guy. They're dealing 9, 13, 18. There's a good chance we're blocking Annie, just because of Tough plus Spell Shield, and we're probably putting Varus into one of these guys. Alternatively, we can put Varus into Annie and put Pantheon into one of these guys because it's got the regen and that means they still have to spend things. I think that's probably safer to put Varus into this. But we also have to consider that there's definitely Nexus Burn that they could apply to us that should make us be fearful. Which is a reason to block the Annie. Does that change anything? I don't think so.
If we had lifesteal, this game might have been a different story.
What am I missing? Oh, this works because of Varus's bow. Don't we want to proc Faded?
We don't want to be procking. We don't want to lose a spell shield fake. I'm so confused.
I think we. Well, like, what? He's thinking about, like, Blade's Edges on the Nexus, right? Like, Blade's Edge, Make It Rain, Death Sand all kills us on the Nexus. I think he'd rather lose Spell Shield. Annie doesn't want us to do this block, but this is 6 damage, not 5, because this gets +1 from the tie block as well. And it's 3 because Annie is flipped. So this is necessary because otherwise we're going down to so much lower that any burn spell kills us. So I do like the blocks. I don't like the Furious Wielder. Furious Wielder can definitely go on the Pantheon here. Regen and Tough was a good combo to get. Varus will have 6 strength if we play Unending Wave.
Oh my goodness, fake. I mean,
if you're poking out of your god, Varus is a 3/5 and Pantheon. Sorry, Varus is a 4/5 and Pantheon's a 4/3. Just
okay, we have a chance.
doesn't it revive Varus because Varus has 4 strength and 5 health?
Oh no, it's true. Yeah.
It does give us Chain of Corruption.
Do we want Chain of Corruption over?
Okay, I guess I should pause here and talk about how to win, right? Because we've got a few lines. One of our better lines is to go for Chain of Corruption and presume they've not got any form of interaction. Right, so we play Varus. Varus gets summoned. We play something like this on Pantheon. And we sort of try and set up 2 overwhelm threats that try and threaten the Nexus. And we got Chain of Corruption to add +3 and drag this thing because it's only got 1 HP. And that's basically 4 damage compared to other options, right? You can also put the weapon on the Pantheon. Now, putting the weapon on the Pantheon does a few things. It allows you to get the procs to make 1 unit larger, which is better into things because Pantheon happens to have Tough. And Pantheon having Tough means that it's better into things such as Disintegrate Mystic Shot. Disintegrate Blade's Edge, not Mystic Shot. If we do something like the Unending Wave plus... what? Not single, because single loses to Disintegrate. We could try to go for Pantheon Lethal. Unfortunately, it seems to me, based on most forms of math, because Pantheon doesn't increase any stats, yeah. Pantheon struggles to get a lethal on his own, which means he's going to be using Varus either way. If he's using Varus either way, you can't give Pantheon the weapon. It doesn't do anything. It procs his Faded, but you're going to proc Faded with Lodestone anyway, or you're not going to proc Faded at all. And proccing Lodestone with Faded is like similar to drawing in the sense that they're both trying to increase strength in different ways. But I think in general the more correct play here was to do Heedless, get your Varus out, maybe do Unending Wave and look for Expanse's protection, and just try to get a way for there to be... well, we'll end up necessarily having 2 prongs for lethal, but go for that. So they don't have Disintegrate, they can't kill Varus, they don't have Death's Hand to Make It Rain. And if they've got anything more than Death's Hand to Make It Rain, that's burn. We've lost the game anyway. And I think that's the most winning line. To play Heedless first and keep up as much mana as possible for trying to find ways to threaten damage. Maybe they only have Ivan Nakakibaros, and then They've got +2 HP. At least we have the extra mana that we've gained by doing the Heedless Resurrection. And swapping the weapons doesn't really matter. And having Varus in the field allows the Chain of the Darkened Bow to proc twice. And have max of 10-0. So I think Heedless was more
I think he
correct.
thinks that we're getting Pantheon. Because we just wasted 2 mana here.
We did waste 2
Well,
mana.
we're broken Fated, but
We're
Wait,
proccing
wasn't
with
the
Heedless
correct
anyway.
line Arazi into Heedless? Oh, no, you still don't.
I mean, it's like enough overwhelm threats that it can be a good lane. I think we needed to go. Isn't Chain of Corruption close to lethal? It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But I think we just needed to develop a second overwhelm threat and just hope that they didn't have Stun Spider.
Yeah.
I want another thing for us to be thinking about is what their hand range could be. So, let's say their hand range has 3 pieces of burn. We've lost. Let's say their hand range has 2 pieces of burn, 2 pieces of Ravenous Flock, Scorched Earth. Disintegrate. We're going to lose because we need to have a double pronged for lethal. Let's say their hand has got a lot of units. If their units are something like Mariah Warden, we're okay. If their units are something like Stun Spider, we're a bit boned. If they've got 1 piece of burn plus Riptide Rex, we're also pretty much boned. It'll either kill Varus or kill Pantheon. There's technically a world where it's split in twain, but they've got 6 cards in hand. You can't justify something like, oh, their hand is triple Mariah Warden. It's just sort of not happening. If their hand is like double Riptide Rex, Ravenbloom Conservatory, 2 Disintegrates, and I don't know, pick a card, then like we can go for this sort of Varus line. And that's what I'm saying. Like that line's important for when that is the hand. But the reason I'm explaining it in this sense is that Unforgiving Cold, I think, had to be kept for next turn. If, and only if, their hand has no units in it and is just spells, doing Unending Wave into Unforgiving Cold was at least a way to survive next turn, and then we can go for a 2-turn lethal. And I think Unending Wave was unlikely to help us get a lethal faster than the chances of them getting lethal on the next turn. It's more likely for it to draw us Unforgiving Cold or something, or also Concerted or something like that. Then it would have been likely to give us like Expanse's Protection or something that can help us get lethal this turn. So I don't know what Fake is looking for here to try to make Pantheon the only thing that can give us a lethal. I actually don't think there's much in the deck at all that can accomplish that. Lunari Cultist is the only thing I can think of, because it gives +4 because of Augment, as well as it gives +6. Okay. If we're saying he's looking for Lunari Cultist, I can see a logic for this lane. It still loses to Disintegrate Blaze Edge. Tough doesn't matter, they played Diebolt. I have not done a great job on this VOD review. I keep going back and forth on things. Mostly because it's these decks I haven't played very much. I haven't played the FakeHero's decks. If we're accepting that they've got... I guess we're just never being Disintegrate. Disintegrate's not something we can play around. Anything with Disintegrate and we lose. So we've got 2 options. We can play for the Lunari Cultist or we can play for the Heedless Resurrection. I do think Heedless Resurrection is more likely to win. But I can see why Fake might be going for Lunari Cultist. You should have at least played Draw before Darkened Bow. Because the difference between gaining 7 strength and 6 strength doesn't matter. Yeah. I do think playing Darkened Bow first was not correct, but I do see the logic in drawing at least. I need to sneeze. Hopefully I edited that in. But yeah. It's just not reliable to draw Unending Way Unforgiving Cold.
So, do we have lethal now?
8-4.
Fake, see the line, please.
No, we don't have lethal.
Well, if we played it heedless and then did
Double,
lodestone,
right? Oh yeah.
is that lethal? Because it gives us the
I think-
+2.
The thing is, if we heedless, the bow actually just swaps, right?
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
I don't. The bow was wrong. Like it procs augment and faded, but I think we were playing Haratsu. I will say the bow keeps the damage. But we're dealing
There's still a
11.
chance.
We can add. We're adding 2.
Okay.
No, okay,
There is
we've
a
got,
chance.
We've got Thingo. Okay, we've got Chinacraft. Go on. Oh shit.
Come on.
Animation moment.
Okay.
Alright,
Split doesn't work. Just no disintegrate. Lucky. That was close.
Any disintegrating we lose, it doesn't matter at all. Fun fact, they had enough burn.
Spidz. Good luck.
Hey.
Oh, well, they play Sap Spree. Okay, they had enough burn only because of Sap
I
Spree.
think like doesn't Fake have better matchups
Yeah,
to
they just drew
Turtwigs
that from the
than
top.
I do? No.
Who knows? I think you have better matchups.
Yeah, until they put the Jinx Lulu into my Silver Auction and then I cry.
Yeah, but you never know what they're going to be banning, right?
They're gonna ban Red Gwen.
Probably, but you never know.
They're gonna ban Red Gwen. And I haven't practiced with Red Gwen into their decks because they were gonna ban Red Gwen. Hey, Fake.
Yeah.
Hello.
Anyway.
I got pretty unlucky in that Fiora set, not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
That was a little thing.
It was so close to winning. Like that Fiora was clutch. You were really close.
Yeah.
Mm.
You definitely played like your best in the Fiora game. Like extremely like the tightest plays you could make.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty tight. I mean, 4 turns I didn't get to play any cards, so every turn after that was pretty simple.
Yeah, but like the decision making with the fish fight and the quick attack weapon and what thing to fish fight.
Oh, yeah.
Like playing towards the concerted or the single out, right? Like
Yeah, no, I was actually playing to this concerted out. As soon as I saw the Zoe flip, I'm like, oh, fuck. It didn't matter anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I thought I could have played the Pantheon one better. I played it as tight as I could. I didn't get any enough early game units. That was really painful.
So when should I fight the branch of the Turtwig?
When you want. You technically have
you
a
want.
10-minute break, I think, or a 5-minute interval.
I mean, what do we talk about? Like, I ban Timo Zoe, they ban Red Gwen.
Yeah. No, you just go,
I
yeah,
get
go for
heavy
it.
metaled, I lose.
Just go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, alright. Well, I'll try my best. It won't do great, but I'll try.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Spidz, good luck.
Thanks, I needed it. Haha, now I'm all alone. Okay, I'm gonna end the first recording there. I've actually been recording for 55 minutes and there was only 25 minutes, but part of that was the explanation at the start. I'm also probably gonna edit some of it just because I wasn't happy with my explanations. But yeah, so Fake lost against Branch of Turtwigs, which means now it's me versus Branch of Turtwigs, remembering that I was the one they decided as the one that we decided would be the best of the Branch of Turtwigs, which isn't great. Branch of Turtwigs is not a great matchup for any of us, but I'm the best into Branch of Turtwigs in terms of how the lineups are constructed. So it makes sense to put me into it, and Anymore can actually beat Blue God and Anita. So as long as I beat Branch of Turtwigs, Anymore should be decently favored into Blue God and Anita. Anita more than Blue God. I should be more favored into Blue God than Anymore is, based on how the lineups are built. But yeah, that'll do it for the first one. Thank you. watch the next one, silly.